better man.
a better man, right? And it's not just being a man, but how to be a better man. And
A better man.
we
Manly conversation right now.
manly conversation right here, but and I don't
I
want to
feel like
misgender, and I don't want to misgender anybody, but we're all men here, right? Like everyone is a man. Now,
what
I
you
don't,
mean?
no, no, no.
What you mean misgender
I
anybody?
don't misgender nobody. I want to be
Hey, that's a
respectful.
fair question, man. That's a fair question.
So thank you, thank
That's a
you.
I'm
fair
not
question.
against it, but I
Exactly.
mean,
We all men here.
yeah, yeah, yep,
So
yep, yep.
I want to know. I've been hearing a lot of definitions of masculinity. I would like to get an idea of what you all think masculinity is as we, tiptoe into this whole conversation of how to be a better man. So, who wants to go first in this one? And I say, you all need time.
Yeah. Hey, bro. It looks like you've had time to think about it. So why don't you start
I
off
have
with
now.
us, King
I
D?
just decided to. I'm quickly. All right. Well, for me, frankly,
Yeah.
I believe that my definition of masculinity is like the property of water, right? Where it's fluid. It takes on the shape that you pour it into. I think that over
Mm,
time it changes because about 20 or 30 years ago, there was an idea that to be a man, you should not be shedding tears, and that's what you are, you're tough. However, now we are encouraging young men, brothers, to be able to let their feelings out, to shed tears and all of that. And for that, people are saying that's what a real man is supposed to be. And so, what I'm saying now is that it changes in each and every era. I mean, when we take a good look like 200 years ago, there were men who wore wigs, but now, if you wear wigs now, the aunties look at you like, yo, what's up with that guy over there? So it's basically saying that this whole idea of a cemented idea of masculinity is, for me, in my opinion, I don't think it should be something that exists because in each and every single era, it changes. And so there is no need for you to cement yourself to one whole idea of what masculinity is. That's what I think.
interesting. Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
So yeah, that was a lot. But for me, also, I don't think being a man has to do with. Um, it has to do with, like, let's say, okay, I don't want to, let me be careful of the choice of words I use.
No, listen,
let me
Before,
let
listen.
me let
If you
me.
say anything crazy, I promise I'll edit it out. Just say it crazy,
Nah.
and then you can polish it afterwards.
Nah, okay.
Okay.
I feel like being a man, it's for me, it's more about how you carry yourself,
Hmm.
and like how you, especially when you're around people, being a leader,
Yeah.
being the head,
Your
in
definition
that
of
sense.
masculinity.
Yes.
Mm.
So I mean, it depends if you're talking like gender masculinity or like you're talking about being
I'm
like a
talking about
man, like
masculinity. Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like it's being like a leader in your wherever
A
you
leader.
find yourself. Um,
Mm.
because I believe that we are all leaders in a way, one way or the other, because someone is always watching you. Someone can always learn something from you, and I feel like as a man, you have to be very intentional about that, about how you handle yourself, how the representation you're carrying wherever you
right.
go,
That's very true.
because uh, also if it comes to the part of like being the head of your household and being like the breadwinner, being that protector, being that provider, I feel like that's also very important as a man, for you to be able to play that role. So yeah.
True. But with that, let me ask you this. Was that the definition that you just gave? Was it a definition that came innately from you, or was it the cultural beliefs or the environment that you grew up in that made you come to this definition that you have today?
I would say innately for me is my culture, man. There's nothing new for me. I don't know what is inside me besides my culture and besides
Yeah,
my
yeah,
experience that
yeah.
I've gone through.
True.
What I'm telling you is based on my experience in life and what I've seen from other people.
True.
Like when I see the other men that I look up to, like the role that they play in their family, like making sure that everyone is good in their family, making sure that their wife is good, their kids are good, making
Yeah.
sure that that there's light in the house and there's food to eat and
True.
stuff like that. That's what I
True.
see, and So that's my
Do you
definition of being a man.
do you disagree with the idea that it's a fluid term for when we say masculinity?
Explain fluid.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was about to say that. What do you mean by
Explain
fluid?
fluid.
That because I'm
Yeah.
like scratching my head on that.
So what I meant by fluid, based off of
Hmm.
what DK said, he said that leadership and taking charge and all that. Now, I was reading about this one tribe where it was a matriarchal order, meaning that it was the woman who took care of
Mm,
everything, led and everything. So in that community, what we believe to be femininity was what masculinity was for the men in that society, right? And
Yeah.
there was the women who were displaying what we would call masculine energy, and so they were being leaders.
Mm.
They were doing all of that. So it was. I realized that combined with noticing that in every era, what our idea of masculinity changes. I came to the realization that it might not necessarily be an innate um, our concrete idea of what it means to be masculine, but it's something that keeps on changing. In other words, it's fluid. It depends on the time and era that it's in. That's what I think. What y'all think?
So when you say that, is it fluid in its expression or fluid in its identity? Or you think the expression and identity are the same?
You lost me there, brother.
No,
Okay.
because I'm
Okay.
trying to understand what you mean by fluid. Like, so when I say expression, it's like because you said there are men who are like basically, I mean, women assuming quote unquote what we think now is like feminine,
Masculine.
masculinity. So
Yeah.
that's like they like quote unquote they men, but they are expressing it in a different way. So I mean, are you talking about
No, I was saying
fluidity
that.
in terms of that or what?
No, I was saying that when DK said that masculinity to him meant leadership. If I'm wrong, correct me,
No,
DK.
no, you're not.
That it's not necessarily something that was known for this matriarchal society.
Okay.
For them, it was women who led. And so if you're
Hmm.
to say that what does masculinity mean to them, they will probably be saying that basically on the definition that DK gave, they'll probably be giving themselves that term that they are masculine in that sense. You get
Yeah.
me?
Hmm.
Right? And so what I'm saying is that is it really something that is supposed to be a concrete term in place in our society, or can it be a fluid thing that in each and every single era depends on where you are as a society that you can definitely make the term masculinity be?
Before I
You get me
say,
now?
yeah, before I say something, Darren, you want to say something?
yeah, what I want to say is I believe that this generation has made the term to be fluid. Because when you look at the term masculinity, we can go all the way back into the times of, you know, how far can we go? Maybe into the times back all the way into Adam and Eve. And we see that when we're talking about masculinity, we're talking about someone, well, the way I see it, someone who's able to take care of themselves, take care of their family, and make sure that
Yeah,
they're taking the leadership role in
Mhm.
whatever that they do, making sure that the
yeah,
people around them are getting and coming forward, are being taken care of, and they are not lacking anything. Um, I see a lot of these qualities coming back in females as well.
Mhm.
Sorry if I'm offending anyone here, but even these days we see the term is becoming more fluid. Why? Because the men are not doing what
yeah,
they're supposed to be doing. Why?
yeah.
Whereas the women are starting to do what men are doing, and women are starting to do what
Mhm.
females are doing,
Females are
making the
doing,
terms
yeah.
become fluid. But I don't think
Mhm.
masculinity should be fluid at all.
Mm. So with
I
that,
think.
okay, no, my bad. Give me more. Go ahead.
No, no, I think I agree because with everything that you're saying too, I feel like outside of culture there is a deeper sense in a man. Like let me say, quote unquote, biologically. I don't want to go into
Mm.
like the science. Like there
Yeah,
is a biological like nature in man that
yeah,
Hmm.
for that kind of like influences behavior.
true.
So that like for example, the women are more emotional, in
Mm,
terms of their emotion expression
Yeah, yeah,
versus men. And I don't think it's a negative thing. It's not
yeah,
a negative thing, but it's just there is something deep in people that like most men, or let me say all men,
Yeah.
we have a good amount of, and my doctor is so he could correct me if I'm wrong. We have a good amount of testosterone, which
Yeah.
influences us differently
That's
versus the
true.
feminine, yeah, versus a female. So I think that in itself brings a certain level of traits or personalities that makes a person a man.
And so
I don't
with
know.
that,
Yeah.
I want us to not veer into that whole territory of, but I want to what I mean when I say that question of masculinity. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in this day and age, you do encourage brothers to be able to tap into their emotional self, right?
Yeah.
Like, or I know there are brothers who are encouraged to tap into their emotional self to be able to be emotional, but that was not the case about 30 or 40 years ago, where we say lock that emotions away. Now we are saying that mental health is important. You have to be able to let your feelings out, find a way to let. We're doing all of that, and we're signifying that to be part of what masculinity is and what was done before to not to be against masculinity. You get me? That's why I'm saying that with that, it's fluid in that sense that it doesn't in every each and every single generation it changes. Like Darren was saying that this generation has changed it. In 50 years, the philosophy that we have of masculinity is bound to change 50 years from now. Am I wrong? Darren, you
Okay,
made a
so
face when I said
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. Then go ahead.
okay, but
Go
my
ahead.
thing is, I don't fully agree, right? Because my thing is, I feel like there are two different things. Like what
that.
Darren was saying about a man being a provider and a man doing that, and now women can be providers as well.
Yeah.
And that's different from a man showing emotions and a man not showing emotions. Those two masculinities are two different things. Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the emotional part, I feel like as human beings, we all have some kind of emotions, right? But we just
Yes.
have to, we just have to regulate it. Like men and women regulate it differently. Women are more prone to
Yes.
show their emotions, more prone to have, like, I'll say, wear their emotions on their sleeves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus
Yeah.
men are more like, I'm gonna keep it in, and then when I'm ready to talk
Yeah.
about it, I'll talk about it. Um,
Yes.
Yep.
so, so I think in that sense it's different. So for me, I believe that as a man, like you have to be aware. You can't say that you don't have any emotions, or you don't feel sad, or you don't feel like
Yeah.
angry, or like you have those emotions, but you have to regulate it in the right way and at the right time too. So
Yeah.
uh, I feel like okay, I'll just end here for now, so someone else can talk.
Yeah.
No, but even the way emotions are shown, even by men, like why is it that men keep their emotions, more inwards them instead of showing it out? I believe that that's the way society has made it. Even the way emotions are shown keep on changing because society keeps on changing. Because men are punished for showing their emotions, even though
That
they're
is
being
true.
encouraged to show their emotions. We know that it works negatively when men show their
Yeah.
Yep.
emotions. So I feel like it's very important to, I think as men, it's okay to show emotions, but only to a certain group of people. And that's
Mm.
for me, men only.
Which leads
Can I
me.
can I say
Okay,
can I
go
say
ahead.
Wait,
yeah, no, go ahead. Maybe we relate to what you